If you do not address these three things, you will not be successful. Listen, I can teach you all of the sales skills in the world. You can have all of the resources possible available to you. But if you do not address these three things that I'm going to get into, you will not be successful. And especially the last one that I'm going to cover. I need you to understand that without these three things, you will not reach the full potential that you can. Now, today's video is for every entrepreneur, but today I want to specifically address Black women entrepreneur because I do feel like this is something that in our community that I see a lot and that needs to be addressed first and foremost. Hi, I'm Anne Jean Pierre, host of the Godly Business Podcast and coach with Better Sales Women. So I don't want to get too much into the introduction because I want to dive right into the three things that I think will either make a huge difference in you becoming successful if you address them. And if you don't address them, I believe that you are pretty much holding yourself back. All right. So the first thing that I need to address is you need to fix your face. Yes, I said it. You need to fix your face. And before you say anything, I need you to understand this. You belong. Okay? You belong. The room that you're in, the door that God opened for you, you belong there. So I need you to pick up your face, put your head up, fix your crown, because the room that you're in, you belong in that room. I need you to understand you will not get bullied out of that room. Okay? No one will tell you that you are not enough in that room. You belong in that room. So that's the first thing you need to understand. Understand that your experience matters. Your skill set matters. You did whatever you had to do to get into that room. So do not let anyone make you feel like you don't belong. Because if God puts you there, don't worry about what they're doing. Don't worry about what they're saying. Don't worry about everything that they say. And please, please, please don't let anybody, I don't care who it is, bully you out of a room that God has worked so hard to put you in, that you have worked so hard to put you in. So I need you to fix your face, keep your head up, fix your crown. Because everything that is for you is for you. So if you get in that room and you feel like, well, I don't have the experience, what am I doing here? And that imposter syndrome start kicking in because you feel like I shouldn't be here. No one else looks like me. That's fine. There's a reason why you're there, especially if no one else looks like you. That means you definitely need to be there. So do not let anyone push you out of that room. You belong. So that's the first thing. The second thing that you need to understand is this, especially if you are in sales in corporate America, things like that, and you're transitioning to your own business or even like in a executive position, whatever, I need you to understand this. And business owner or not, you need to understand that your voice matters. Okay? Your experience matters. So I'm going to need you to stop biting your tongue. Because when you bite your tongue, baby girl, the only person that you're hurting is you. You're the only one bleeding. Okay? So stop biting your tongue. Understand that your experience definitely does matter. So what you have to say, even if they don't want to hear it, now I will put an asterisk by this, right? So there's a thing of how you say something, how you address something, right? There's that. But I do want you to not be afraid to say what it is that you have to say because you feel like they won't understand. They don't even listen to me anyways. Well, guess what? If they're not going to listen to you anyways, you might as well say what you have to say, right? You might as well get it out. At least you said your piece, right? Because you have to understand look at it from this perspective. You have a different experience. You have a different background. Your exposure is different than theirs, right? Um, your life experience is huge as far as you bringing something else to the table, right? A lot of time people talk about, oh, diversity, 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 but a lot of time they're thinking about diversity of like skin, like white, black, Asian, whatever, right? But there's also a thing called diversity of thought, diversity of experience, right? I'm Haitian, if you couldn't tell by the name and the accent, right? I'm Haitian. My experience as a Haitian born and raised in Haiti, is going to be completely different than an American, a black American person, right? So their experience, we're both black, their experience is going to be different than mine because I grew up in Haiti, right? And because of even their experience as a two black people growing up in America are still going to have two completely different experiences because of where they were raised. So, keeping those things in mind, you have to understand that your experience brings a different perspective and you do have the solution to the problems. You have faced different things that other demographics may have not faced and don't know how to overcome those challenges. And therefore, because you've been in certain position, because you've had certain experiences, your thoughts matter. You have something to bring to the table. You have the solution to what they need. So do not put yourself in the back burner because you're like, well, I don't have a PhD, I didn't go to college, or I didn't blah, 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 blah. You have an experience. You have something to say. You can resolve the problem. I will give you an example, right? Like I said, I'm Haitian, right? And let's say, because I know my culture, let's say you have someone who's like, I'm going to Little Haiti and I'm going to open a restaurant and I'm going to call it Voodoo, whatever, right? Voodoo vibes, Creole voodoo, right? You're like, I'm going to Little Haiti to bring up a restaurant like that in that community. Now, Little Haiti has been becoming gentrified. So if your restaurant that you're bringing, naming it like that, is for the folks coming in, then by all means, go ahead. But I will tell you, as a Haitian, it's probably not going to be as successful as you think it is just based on the name, right? Because most of the Haitian mummies will not step foot in there. They will tell their kids to avoid you like a plague. You're going to end up on some pastor's sermon, okay? Bringing that restaurant into a Haitian community. So if you not having that background, not having that knowledge and thinking, oh yeah, it's cool, like voodoo, Haiti, as some people might think, and then you bring it into a Haitian community and you're not successful, I could have told you like, yeah, no, don't do that. Right? So because of my knowledge, my experience, my understanding of the Haitian community, I'm gonna tell you there's certain things you don't want to do. It may sound great because of what you think you know, right? But the reality is it's not going to work. So that's what I mean by your experience matters. There are certain things that you know because of who you are, because of where you grew up, because of the experience that you've had. So when you're in a room and you hear people making decisions that it's like, yeah, I don't know who y'all talking about, but it's not going to work for us, you have to say something, right? So this is what I mean by your voice matters. Do not bite your tongue. What you have to say matters. You are important. You going to make the difference because you have the solution. Your experience matters. Do not let anyone bully you or make you feel like you don't know what it is that you do know because you don't fit certain criteria. All right, so that's the second thing that you need to know. The third thing, I'm going to take my time to get into this because I feel like this is something that we all need to address, including myself to a certain extent, but I feel like I've addressed it pretty much, is code switching. We need to stop code switching. And you know what I mean by code switching. I'm not talking about your professional voice on the phone. I'm talking about code switching. We need to stop code switching. Bring all of you to wherever you go. Be authentically you. Do not apologize for who you are. There's nothing wrong with who you are. You are perfectly, beautifully made. Everything about you. God made you how you are, your personality, your quirks, your hair, your skin color, you know, all your little quirks. God made you exactly how you are. Your environment shaped you, yes. But sis, when I tell you, you need to stop code switching because making others, I'm going to put it this way, it doesn't help us to reduce ourselves or change who we are to make others feel comfortable. It's literally killing us. Literally. Like giving you cysts and stuff. You know what I mean? Like physically having a harmful effect on your body, on your psyche, on your mental well-being because you always having to present differently than who you actually are. And that is impacting you mentally and giving you extra fatigue that is not needed. So when I say you need to stop code switching, stop code switching. Bring all of yourself to wherever you are. Now I'm not saying that you don't need to know the occasion in which you are and to behave properly. There's a huge difference between behaving properly and code switching, right? So if I'm in a professional environment, I know how to act in a professional environment, right? If I'm going to a wedding, you dress properly for a wedding. That has, you know what I mean? So that's not code switching. That's being appropriate for the environment. You know, there's certain behaviors are acceptable in church and certain behaviors are not acceptable in church. You get what I mean? So that's not necessarily code switching. And I feel like a lot of times people try to like mix the two when it's not. Like, you know what I mean by code switching. Trying to appeal to someone else just to make them comfortable. So you lessening yourself in order for you to fit in to make that person comfortable. Not even like, hey, I'm just gonna chill or whatever. It's like you presenting completely differently than who you actually are just to make someone else comfortable, just to feel like you have to be accepted by someone else. And you need to stop doing that. And I promise you, the more authentic that you are to yourself, the more that you bring who you are, all of you, to wherever you are, business transaction, all of those things, you will be loved by your people. And what I mean by your people is the people that understand you, the people that gets you, right? Here's the thing, not everything is created for everybody. And if you don't believe me, think of how many burger joints there are, right? There's so many different burger places. And fast food alone, you could think of Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's, uh, I don't know, Jack in the Box, all those different things, right? All of the different burger places, and you will find people that will say, I will never eat at Burger King, I will never eat at McDonald's, I will never, because they have their thing, right? Each of these places have their niche, have their people, and they speak to their people, right? So the same way for you, you need to just speak to your people. You need to speak to your audience. You need to just be authentically you and bring yourself to who will accept you for you. So you could stop code switching and stop killing ourselves with all this stress and trying to fit into the box. So those are the three things that you definitely have to address, because if you can have all of the skills in the world, you can have, I can give you everything that you need to try to close clients and this and that. But if you get to a level where you get to a room and someone makes you feel less than, and now you reduce yourself because you feel like, well, I'm not good enough, I don't belong here, so therefore you don't bring all of yourself because you are not confident that you are worthy of that contract, that you're worthy of charging $20,000 for a package because they're looking at you like, I don't think you can pull that off. Girl, I'm talking to you. No. You deserve every single thing that you've worked your butt for. And you need to understand that you are worth it. And you need to understand that if God is for you, who can be against you? If God opened the door for you, who can dare say you cannot enter except you? You're the only one that's holding you back. Forget the Karens, okay? Forget the Karens and the Kens, right? Forget them. This is about you, what you have to bring to the table, what your experience is. It matters. So I know this is like a completely different angle from what you used to listening, but this is something I really needed to get out because I feel like if we don't address this, if you don't understand this, you can have all the fullest potential, but if you keep reducing yourself to make others comfortable, code switching, right? If you keep feeling like you have something to say, you know they may not perceive it well, they may not receive it, so you don't say it, you never know. Say it. Say what you need to say. I'm gonna stop. Sorry. But yeah, just say it. Say what you need to say. Say it. Say it. Just give your piece and let whatever environment know at least you gave your opinion. You try to give the solution to the best of your ability because you have a different experience. And I promise you, a lot of times, you know what I mean. Not only do you know what you're talking about, a lot of times, if people were to apply what you bring to the table, a lot of things would have changed. And I bet when I say that, you could think of one or two circumstances where you're like, yeah, if they had just did what I said, would have been resolved by now, right? So think about that. And also just know that you belong exactly where you are, that God puts you in such a time as this, right? You were born for such a time as this, right? Like Esther, you never know the reason why you're in that room, the reason why you're the only person that looks like you in that room is because you have to speak for all of the people that would never be in that room and that your perspective needs to be heard because otherwise their voices will never be heard. So you are put in that position. Do not be bullied out of it. Do not let people make you feel less than because of it. I don't care what color, skin, your hair texture, your size, whatever. You belong where you are. So that's pretty much it. This was not I know this is completely different, but I wanted you to make sure that you're aware of that, and that you can do anything that you set your mind to, sis, and you got this. You got this. So don't be afraid. Um, just go out there and do your thing. So that's it. I'm gonna get off my soapbox for today. So I pray that you are successful. I pray that God will be with you in all of the things that you have to do. Remember, all you have to do is ask Him, and He will teach you, counsel you, and guide you in the way that you should go. That was everything that I wanted to say today in regards to that, those three things that you need to address um, in order for you to be successful. So, God bless you guys, and I will talk to you next week.